Hey, it's me, Unapologetically T, and woo, the new supermoon energy was definitely like that. I was experiencing lots of stuff way before it even like officially had the moon had got that close to the earth. Like I find it amazing like how connected I realize I am to the moon cycles, to the lunar cycles. Like it's so dope, and I just appreciate it, like the way that my body flows with it, my spirit, all that stuff. Like it's just so deep. And if you haven't, made that connection or whatever, like that's okay too. This is just what's for me, and it's been a dope experience. This last week has been a dope experience. And I was in this car, and before I started recording, I was looking at, if you've been keeping up with my story, I told you about how I got this scar on my leg. So if you knew me and you ever seen me wearing shorts, like you would see this scar on my leg, on the back of my leg. And it's my left leg. And I finally told the truth about how I got this scar after all those years. Like, basically, pretty much just to recap, my aunt, who was actually like my mom's favorite sister, the ironing of these things. All I can tell you is be careful who you send your kids around. If they don't like you, they don't like your kids most of the time. So it's not always but most of the time, if they don't fuck with you, they don't fuck with your kids. And my aunt don't really like my mom, but my mom is just, she's taught me that same undying loyalty to family no matter how they treat you. But my aunt has never treated her right. She looks down on her. She doesn't like her. And it's like she can't see it. But yet my mom still sent both her kids up there to be around this lady. And literally, I wasn't even in school yet. That's how young I was. And I was very tiny, and I'm gonna show you how tiny I must have been. I do think that this scar has I mean, I can't tell. Like it probably definitely did heal and shrink some, because scars do shrink some. But I think mostly it is because, I have grown up, and I've gotten bigger. But this scar literally used to cover from the heel of my foot all the way up to the back of my knee. And it covered the whole back of my leg, so it wasn't just this a spot. It was like the whole back of my leg. So pretty much, long story straight, you can probably catch it in some of those fresh earlier videos where I was like literally getting out all these things that had happened. But just long story short, I was not even in school yet. So I was very, very young. I was probably like 3 or 4. I think it was definitely 4 though. And I wanted to get on a go-kart. My brother and my cousin, they were like 7, 8 years older than me, whatever. They were on the go-kart. It looked fun. I wanted to get on. They told me to go ask her. So they did the responsible thing, told me to go ask her. I went to ask her. She said no. And I still, as a 4-year-old child, really wanted to get on this go-kart. Really wanted to. They were laughing, and it just looked like so much fun. So I went back and told them that she said I could get on the go-kart. And for years, I held in that it was my fault. Not only because I did feel like I told a lie. Like, I had a moral compass when I was a little kid. Like I said, I grew up in the church. I grew up knowing right from wrong. And so I did feel guilty on my own, but I also felt like it was all my fault, because even before my parents got to me, she told me that it was my fault and that she told me no. And so I had to pay for my sins, like some shit like that. She was very holy and sanctified, holier than thou. So like, she let me know it was my fault. And so for years, as a 4-year-old child growing up, all the way to this time, like I just always took accountability for it. And it's a common theme in my life. Like, I would take accountability for this stuff that these adults would do to me, and they would never take their accountability. Like, her accountability is she should have been watching a 4-year-old child. Like, her accountability is that she should have took me to the hospital and not almost let me die in her house. Her accountability is she stood at the door while the go-kart was pinned on top of me. That was her accountability. But she didn't take it, and so I just grew up feeling like this was my fault all completely. So the fault in it for me was that I lied and said I could get on. But, you know, I'm happy that I did take my end of the deals and stuff, because they don't haunt me now. But I'm pretty sure now that some people do have to take accountability for what they didn't never take accountability for. They got to deal with that now. So, get back on topic. Long story short, go-kart flipped over. My cousins and brother jumped off. I was too young, didn't really know what jumping off was. So, when I kind of like held onto the go-kart. So, but the force of it, it was like I ended up falling on the ground, and the go-kart ended up pinning me to the ground, and the wheel was on my leg. And if you could just think about it, it was very horrific. Not only is the go-kart still on, and the wheel is just still vigorously spinning on my leg, the weight of the go-kart is pressing me down to the ground. So not only am I being burned alive, I am also having that's a lot of weight. I wasn't big either as a kid. Like, I was very small. So like, I'm dealing with pressure, plus I'm dealing with being burned alive. And it was such a traumatic event. I never forgot it. I had dreams even after that I was on fire. And no, it wasn't a physical fire. It was a friction fire. So like, friction was like literally burning my flesh off. And I know it's graphic. It might traumatize some. And like I said, I was a very small child. She never took me to get medical treatment. She literally put oil on my leg while it was fucking burning hot. Like, it was so, my skin was so hot that when she put the olive oil on my leg, to this day I don't really like olive oil, because a lot of black people use it as anointment and all that stuff. Like, don't fucking anoint me with no olive oil. I don't want to be healed with olive oil. I don't want none of that. I will cook with it, and that's about as far as I'm going. And so, but yeah, like, you could literally, like, when she put it on my leg was so hot that you could, it was like cracking and popping like a frying pan. And so I just remember that experience. I remember when I was pinned down to the ground and I was yelling and screaming for help. Like, I almost gave up. I was about to give up, but something like just told me, like, keep yelling. And my brother and my cousin eventually heard me. But she was standing at the door, and I'll never forget this. I will never forget this. I have suppressed so many memories because it broke my heart to, even out to like the sexual abuse, it just broke my heart to had to accept that that was my reality. And so I pushed it away. But I'll never forget that shit. Like, and I guess it was waiting for the time in my life that I could handle and deal with it. So the time was now. Anyway, long story short, I've been looking at this scar that I've had for 30 plus years. And it doesn't even affect me the same way it used to when I was a little girl. Like, it's so much smaller now, number one. It is like it's a scar for sure. If someone saw it and they were like me, when I see certain stuff on people, like, I always ask them, like, you know, what happened? And I'll ask them if they don't mind telling, because I do know, like, as a little girl, like, I had this scar and people would stare at me. If you have been burned before, you know that when you are burned, your skin constantly like sheds. Definitely when it comes in contact with water, it sloughs off. Like, so literally, like, if I was to go to the water or the pool, like, my skin was shed. And so it was in that healing stage and that healing process. Like, people would stare when I had to go to school. Kids would make fun of it and all that stuff. So like, I just grew up to like not do that to people. And like, if I do see something and, you know, we're not just in passing, and I feel like it's an open space for me to ask you like what happened to you, I will ask what happened to you if you don't mind sharing. And you'll be amazed how much people appreciate that more than you just staring. So I don't know, maybe that's a big one for someone to take, instead of staring, ask if you don't mind sharing what happened. I know I like when someone would ask me instead of just staring. I would say I was in a freak go-kart accident. I wouldn't go into details. I just would tell them I was in a go-kart accident. It happened on a go-kart. And but some people will tell you like, oh, this is a, you know, something genetic, you know, something, it was a birth defect, it was a genetics, it was this. But everything that we deem deformities or blemishes or scars or wounds, like literally there's, you know, there's a story behind it, or at least just some type of diagnosis or something that you can learn about new instead of just staring at people. And staring at people is rude anyway. So people can feel your energy. So yeah, like literally just looking at that, like the growth in this horrific scar, like that, it plagued my self-esteem when I was little. Like I felt like, you know, I once again was tainted. Like I just felt like all this stuff was making me tainted. And today I don't feel like that. Today I don't feel like that. Moving forward, I'm not gonna feel like that. I feel like all these scars, all these war wounds, they come with lessons. They come with wisdom and knowledge. They come with power. To survive horrific stuff comes with power. And no, I don't feel like you should have to survive horrific stuff to have power. But to survive horrific stuff and to keep your mind, to keep your loving heart, that's powerful. That is so powerful. And so if you have been through extreme traumatic events, you know, go through your processes of healing. But once you get to a certain point of, you know, healing and processing and feeling your feelings and all that stuff, you begin to see like the power in your story. You begin to see the power and the strength in you. And for me, I want to show y'all my scar. I have not shown y'all my scar. Friends have seen it. People who know me have seen it. And let's see. I can't really see because this sun is beaming. Okay, here we go. So here is my scar. I just got out of the shower, so I am definitely ashy down there. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. But yeah, so I don't know if you can see, but this carried all the way up here when I was younger. So it was like the back of my knee part. And then it went all the way down to here, about here. And so I was, like I said, about 4. It covered the whole back of my leg also. But now I am 35, so it looks a lot smaller. But just imagine having that as a child. It would itch. Like I said, it would shed skin. I would have to like literally take these special scissors and cut the skin. Had to just do a lot of burn treatment. And let me turn this thing around. Alright, so that's that. So literally, I definitely felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed. I felt tainted. I felt like just felt like nobody would love me because I had that scar. Definitely as a kid, I felt like I got picked on because of the scar, so it definitely affected my self-esteem. But then, okay, so I wasn't big enough to get like the skin transfer. That's not what it's called, but I forgot. I remember sometimes and then I forget what it's actually called. Skin grafting. So I couldn't do the skin grafting because, like I said, I was so small. They had nowhere that they could graft enough skin to put on that area. It was such a large area. I'm not even sure of the burn percentage far as a limb for a small child, but if you do know burns, you know that was very dangerous. I could have died. I literally felt like I was at death's door as a child when I was laying on her couch, stomach down. I felt like I was at death's door. I couldn't eat. They really had to force me and tell me to drink. And I always wonder what would have happened if I would have died. But I'm here, so I'm not going to wonder. I'm here. I always knew from that traumatic event alone that God had a plan for me. God wanted me to be here and all that. So honestly, life did not get better. Life did not get better. I went through so much worse, and it's okay now to me, because I hope my story helps someone else in that sense. I can't take back what happened. I can't take back what was done to me. All I can do is move forward and heal those things and know that they did happen. I think the worst injustice for me was being conditioned to act like these things didn't happen. I think also just adapting that conditioning throughout my whole life. Like, if I didn't favor the outcome, then fuck it. Like, we're gonna stuff this down deep, and it didn't happen. And I think that those things come back to haunt you. Even if the memories aren't there, internally you are functioning from those wounded parts. So that is a scar you can see. Just imagine the internal scars that you don't get to see. You get to see the things that happen to your physical body, but you do not get to see the things that happen to your soul and your spirit. And it's like, you have to work on and heal those things. Like, you have to work on and heal your internal wounds. If you don't, they will fester. They will get infected, and you will be self-sabotaging and ruining your life. Just take it from someone who knows. Take it from someone who knows. Even as productive and as good on paper I looked in my previous lives, like, take it from someone who knows. I could have lived a totally better life for myself had I been healed, because I felt so unworthy, because I felt I had so low self-esteem. I had so much anger pent up and didn't know how to release it, what to do with it, none of that. Like, I didn't know how to transmute it, nothing. I even just got to this point where I went from showing up for myself and protecting myself extremely to not protecting myself as much as I should have. Giving people too many chances, making too many excuses for people. So just like the self-worth and self-value had went down to the ground, that even when I had good opportunities in life, I would self-sabotage it. I would, even if I wouldn't self-sabotage it, I wasn't fully happy with it, because I wasn't happy within. And I think it's very important to pay attention to your internal wounds. I always had this nagging feeling that something was not right. I always had this nagging feeling I wasn't happy. I always had this and it didn't matter how good my life was going. Like, I've told you about traumatic things that was going on. I had shit that was going good in my life. I've had opportunities to date great men. I've had career opportunities that were definitely awesome. I could have traveled the world. I could have did this. I could have did that. But for some reason, I always pick the hardest route, and I don't want it no more. It's like, I don't want it no more. And it's like getting in alignment with not wanting it anymore. And yeah, it's like my choice, my decision. I chose a lot of these hard paths. I'm not even talking about childhood. What happened in childhood? I only take accountability for the parts I should take accountability for, but that's the whole point of God giving you parents, is for them to protect you, for them to guide you the right way. And my mom taught me some really good things, but also I don't think my mom was protected, so she didn't know how to protect me. So, not against family anyway. She know how to protect me against outside stuff, but not family in general. Like, but yeah, like that aunt, she definitely like, she before the go-karting accident, she had cut a piece of my scalp out of my head when I was little. And it was on some like some voodoo magic shit. I'll say hoodoo. It was probably like hoodoo. And I wouldn't even say it was hoodoo. I would say that was some demonic shit. How about that? That's where I'm at. It is. I can't even attach that to hoodoo. I can't attach that to voodoo. I would have to say that was some evil, wicked shit. Like, I'm writing about this stuff, so I'm not gonna go into too many details. But like, yeah, another time where she told me not to say anything. So be careful about who you send your children around. Like, when I say this with so much love and compassion, I don't want you to be overly cautious, like that you become so overprotective of your child like I did. But be careful who you send your child around. If they don't like you, they probably don't like your child. And I remember coming home and like my mom questioned me like, what happened to you? And I just told her I ain't know. And she just accepted it. Like, she wanted to get the truth out of me, but at the same token, like, I just kept the secret. And she never further investigated. I don't even know if she asked her sister what happened to me. But she never, further went into it, because that would have been me. If my child ain't telling me what happened and I see a fucking hole missing in her head, like, it was literally my scalp with hair. Like, she took a piece of my scalp with hair in it. And it wasn't like a large hole, but it was like a hole. It was enough to be concerned and wonder what the fuck happened. Like, this is not just somebody scraped themselves. Somebody intentionally cut a piece of your head out. So yeah, I wish I could make this shit up. I really can't. And even right now, like, I get sad about stuff like that, because like, I was just so young of a child. Like, no child deserved to go through what the fuck I went through. And not only did I go through it, I had to go through it in silence. So suffering in silence is so much painful. So much more painful than, telling it out loud. I feel like telling it out loud is a release. And suffering in silence, it usually festers unless you know how to heal yourself. And as a child, I did not know at all what to do. I just always remember wanting to be saved. And it's like, now I finally am my own savior. With the help of God. I don't say that in no sense of like this grandiose shit. Like, nah. I wouldn't have made it without God. I wouldn't have made it nowhere far without God. Like, at any point in my life, I've always turned to God. So I give praises to God, but God always tell me to, give credit to myself too, because that's the type of God I serve. He gotta have something to work with. Like, can't just do everything for you. Can't do all of it. Can if you want to, but and the religious dogma, I look at God as all. It doesn't matter. So definitely don't send your kids around people that don't like you. I don't care if they family, whatever. Like, don't send your kids around people that don't like you. That has been one of my things. I've done this. I've done this as well. There are plenty of people in my family that I let watch my child that I pray to God nothing has happened to my child like stuff happened to me. But I did end up doing the same thing. I let, different people in my family watch her when like I was at my wit's end and I didn't have a break. I've been transparent in these videos that like I never got to have like breaks. Like I never required, you know, Dante to watch her. So it was never like, you know, go get your nails done, I'll watch her. I wouldn't even leave her. Like basically the age she got to be left in the house by herself is when I was like, okay, for him to like actually have to watch her. Other than that, like she was in daycare. Like we could have saved money, but she was in daycare. Like I wouldn't force him to watch her. So I have to deal with that. I have to deal with all the parts of my mothering that I wasn't always able to see was detrimental to my child. And I think the blessing in it isn't that like I didn't make mistakes that my mother made. The blessing in it is that I made mistakes, but I am able to talk to my child and have conversations about that I did make mistakes and that I am apologizing for the part I played in some of the places and areas that I've made mistakes in. So when I come on here and I really like tell all about family members, friends, and all that shit, like I don't come on here as if, oh, I'm the victim and, you know, all this shit was just happening to me and I didn't do things to other people. I didn't make mistakes myself. Literally, I am a flawed individual. Like, I'm a flawed individual, but I think it's not about us not being flawed. It's about us taking accountability and healing those flaws that need to be healed. Because I think we are born with our own flaws, and then we also have things that happen to us that shape and mold us once we are born into this world. And I think you should very much focus on healing the things that was done to you and formulated your thinking and your processing. And also working on the things that you already automatically are wired to be, you know, flawed. And I think when we think about friendships and partnerships and all these ships, co-workers, all these interactions with other people, I think the goal is never to be perfect. The goal is finding the people around you that will accept you as you are, but not in the sense of, I'm going to let you show up crazy. Not crazy. I'm going to let you show up reckless. I'm going to let you show up wrong. It's about finding those people who love you so much that they'll tell you about yourself. They love you so much that they're going to tell you what's right about yourself too. Like it ain't going to just be always, you know, constructive criticism. It'll be also times where I'm going to tell you the best of you. And you should also be telling yourself these things. Like you should know your flaws. You should know where you're flawed at. Like you should know that. You should know where you're good at, where you're great at, where you're amazing at. What's your gifts? So I think that that's it. It's the people that's willing to grow with you. That's not necessarily like willing to accept your monstrous behavior. I don't even think that's a word. But not willing to accept that behavior, but more in the sense of if you're willing to work on yourself and fix what's going on with you that is off regulated, like you'll start to find the people who give you grace, who understand you, but also call you out on your bullshit too. I had a friend the other day, like a brother to me. He was letting me know, like we was talking, and I was over talking him, and he was like, "I don't like when you do that." It's like I know he ain't lying because I know I do that. I know I get excited about topics. I know I personalize stuff when I'm talking sometimes, and I got to work on that. And I just reflect back and it was just like, I had to do this sad apology. Like, oh, I apologize. Like, I know I got to work on that. And so just getting back in the swing of things of being that listener, not over talking people, So, and I'm great at it in certain situations and cases, but like, I feel like when I get excited about a certain subject, or if I could find myself in that certain subject, or find that like it's being overly generalized, I'll try to rebuttal instead of listening. And so that was just like being aware. Like, I was happy that he was able to tell me like he ain't like how that felt like. And it's like not having to walk on eggshells to say that you don't like something, and someone taking offense to you don't like it, and it's like just listening to like this person don't like what you just did or how that happened, and not taking offense to it, taking note of it to work on that. And I just grew up in such an environment where like to tell that you was dissatisfied with anything is an attack against the person. And I just realized how fragile the egos of the adults I was around was, and I'm just unlearning a lot of things and replacing them with good coping mechanisms, replacing them with just good energy, period, and like viewing things a lot differently. Like, I don't wish to be in that vibrational energy no more. Like, I just want, and it ain't even I just want, it's like I am. Like, I feel the shift, I feel the changes, like I feel the shifts. Like, it's beautiful. And so, growth. You see growth physically a lot. I just showed you multiple ways of growth physically with my scar, with my leg, how I've grown over these years, how my scar has grown and healed over these years. You can see it, but you can't always see the internal things if you don't have this opened up, if you don't have like your self-awareness, and if you're not ready to actively make those changes, but you want to change, all I can tell you is keep praying. I remember since I was like in middle school, I even remember in late high school begging for some help. I begged my parents for help. I remember I wanted psychiatric help. I knew something was wrong. I knew I was very angry. I knew that, at any given moment I was going to crash out. And this was before crashing out was even like, called crashing out. I used to call it snapping. God, I thank you for protecting me. Because, Lord, I definitely was sometimes one decision away from ruining my whole life. And I just remember her like not wanting to give me help because she said it would ruin my future as far as me having careers. And it was like, but number one, it was inaccurate information on her part. She didn't know about mental health and how that worked. Number two, it was like, what good is a future if I'm not here anymore? And she just wasn't hearing it though. She looked at my life as an extension of hers and what she felt like she missed out on. So any threat I had to that, she was not going to allow it. What all I really wanted was to be whole. I just wanted to feel whole again. I wanted to feel better. And I just knew shit was off. I remember in middle school, wanting help. I prayed. I always prayed that shit would get better, that I would find healing, I would find peace. Because like I said, I just knew internally shit was not off. I was a kid who was aware internally to a certain degree. I always say like I was half woke. And I was half woke. And I just knew stuff was off. I would always pray. And I'm finally living internally the prayer I prayed, if that makes sense. So like sometimes we praying these things and we literally don't realize that our prayers are being answered already. They're already answered. They're already answered. You just gotta keep going. And sometimes, like, when you give up faith and you give up hope, you can hold up your process. You can delay your process. You doesn't mean that you won't ever get to where you want, but you can delay your process. You can hold your process up. A lot of this is here. A lot of this is here, and unfortunately, we are not taught that. We are not taught that. Even if you are taught it, it's usually taught with indoctrination in mind, and so it's still like not truly freedom. But it's definitely within here, and trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process. Divine timing just simply means like you're getting in alignment. You're being prepared for what you've asked for. That is divine timing. I actually felt like divine timing was torturous. Like, well, when is it? Like, I'm not going to even hold you. Like, when is it? I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to lie to you. God know my heart. Like, God know me. Like, I know me. When is it? It's taking too long. Hurry up, please. Like, I'll go down over here. Like, I'm serious. I'm dramatic sometimes. And so, and shit, I've lived the crazy life. Like, is it dramatic or is it like really, you know, the circumstances? Like, it's urgent. And so it's like, can you hurry up? Like, and it's like, it's not like that. It's not an actual time. Time is a perception. And like, you literally are being prepared for what you ask for. You know, one of the most miserable things now that I know what I know is for God to give me what I asked for and I ain't ready for it yet. Now I feel like that's not God. That's the devil tempting you. That is the devil. You took the devil's blessing. Cause I don't want nothing I done prayed for before I'm ready for it. That literally means that if you get what you ask for before you're ready with it, you will not know what to do with it. You won't be happy with it. You'll literally be miserable. And that sounds like hell to me. That sounds like suffering. So I have learned to like chill the fuck out, relax, trust the process. It has been hard. Each day is hard. Like, each day I have to, and that's one of the things that my relationship with God, like, God tells me, like, when you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed about something, and I try not to say anxious anymore, but when you're feeling like overwhelmed, when you feel that doubt creep in, give it to God. Give it to God. Give it to whoever you pray to. Like, you can give those things over. You don't have to hold them. You don't have to harbor them. You can say, acknowledge them. Like, what you doubting? What you scared of? And sit with that and then get that to God. That would be for God to handle. You don't have to handle all these negative feelings, thoughts, and emotions. You can acknowledge them and then you can let them pass. Let them pass on. Let them pass. I'm starting to realize, like, you don't have to hold on to nothing but yourself. Like, nothing but yourself. Hold on to you. Hold on to you. Everything else gonna work out. Take care and love you. Everything else gonna work out. Like I said, it's a challenge for me. I'm not saying this like it is so easy and so simple. I think that's why a lot of people give up faith and hope, because they'll hear other motivational speakers talking. They'll hear other messengers talk. And sometimes when we're talking, we make it sound easy. It's not easy. This is work. Every day you have to show up. Every day you have to say, hey, look, I know this not working out right for me right now, but I got so much faith that it will. I have so much faith that an attack ain't doing shit but making me better. It can't hurt me. This is to make me better. Like, you have to reframe your thinking, and it doesn't mean that every day your thinking is going to reflect your most positive, outcome. But it's just that you're showing up for yourself at least to feel your feelings. You're showing up for yourself at least to get through another day. You just showing up and enjoying your moments, being present in your moment. I don't even look at attacks as negative no more. Most of the things that was attacking me has gotten tired and exhausted just because I won't give up. Most of the attacks were all of the attacks, literally, anything that triggered me, anything that attacked me, anything that was negative towards me made me stronger. It made me stronger. It's not fair. It ain't fair. I ain't do shit to most of those attacks. It ain't fair, but it made me stronger. So I like to think of it like as in Job. When you think about Job and you think about, devil working with God, and God literally giving the devil permission to do these things just to prove to just to prove to the devil that Job was like that. And I think when even the devil come across, I look at the devil as God's angel. Angel, Lucifer, morning star, sun. All right, so it's just a lot. And I've always had these theories, like, since I was a little girl. Like, this shit was connecting for me. I told y'all I had a level of awareness that, like, I didn't always know what to do with. And, but I always saw the devil as God's son. God created these angels. If he creates something, that is his creation, his children. So literally, he had gave his son to this world. And his son was displeased with his creations. He felt like they want shit. That's why he made him come down here. And so that's why I don't really harbor hard feelings towards the devil, because in all actuality, where he lied? Did he tell any lies? He just was being disrespectful to his daddy. Like, that's how I looked at that. And as a little girl, I looked at it like, well, he just told you how he felt. He wasn't being disrespectful. Like, he just told you how he felt. But in the Bible, like, they painted it out like he was, the prettiest angel. Like, so he was vain and all that stuff. Like, he thought he was all... No, he told the facts. He told the facts. I'm sorry. I'm down here with the humans, and he told partial lies. Like, he only told partial lies because, like, overall, the human design is, like, really, really hard. I'ma just leave it at that. Like, I'ma just say that, like, he was back talking, because, like, I don't want to down being human. I think being human is one hell of an experience. If you catch my drift, I think it's one hell of an experience. But I do think that, like, once you get to a certain point in your life and you master yourself, you don't even have to master yourself to get to the point where, like, the devil doesn't bother you. You literally just stay true to yourself, for real. Staying true to yourself, you won't fall into temptation of the devil. And I fall into, trying to take easy ways out and all that stuff like that. And I don't mean easy way as in a way that is afforded for me to be easy. I mean, like, taking a route that... for example, I'm going to give you some free game an example. So when I originally started this YouTube channel, I wanted it to gather its own, community and its own viewers, generically and all that stuff. But I would find myself being tempted with opportunities to buy viewers, to buy, so to buy views, or to buy, followers. And what I would notice was, like, that wasn't staying true to the brand I wanted to create. So like, to take that opportunity is foolish. And literally when I tried to do it, I got scammed. so, so this is just me being honest and transparent. Like, I take temptation sometimes, and you know, you gotta pay for the consequences. I do feel like my life is literally, you know, once off, so I was able to get my money back. But it was just the point that, like, I tried to do a shortcut, and but it wasn't a shortcut that was true to myself. It was a shortcut that literally would taint my brand. It would taint my brand. So hey, it is what it is. You live and you learn. But yeah, to me, that's my view of the devil. The devil has less to do about some nigga in a red suit and some horns. It's more about, are you gonna stay true to your, whatever your morals, your values, your principles. This is different for everybody. Like, everybody got their own set of morals and values and beliefs. But whatever your stuff is you gonna stay true to you. I feel like to live your best life, you don't have to lose you to live your best life. And I think if you have to compromise who you are to get what you want, then that's probably not how you should go about it. But everybody got their own paths, and everybody got to learn at their own pace. Let's normalize that. A lot of times I tell y'all I make these videos for y'all, but I also leave nuggets in here for me to come back and look at. But take what resonates and leave the rest. If you don't believe in the devil like I believe in the devil, that is okay. I have to make sense of the world around me, and I have to make sense of it from my lifestyle and my point of view. I'm an open-minded person, and I'm always listening to other people's point of view and stories. However, I've learned that has nothing to do with my point of view, and I must keep my point of view. That doesn't mean I can't add stuff to it. It doesn't mean that we can't piece things together. It just means that I got to stay true to myself, and you got to stay true to yourself. You believe what you want to believe. I believe what I want to believe. And let's normalize not killing each other because we have different beliefs. Let's normalize not oppressing each other because we have different beliefs. Let's just normalize that. Like, let's normalize that. Our belief system should not divide us. If anything, they should bring us together, and we should try to see if pieces, you know, fit together for us. Like, we can't collaborate if we in disarray. So if life was meant to be viewed the same, if life was meant that we were all to take the same path, everybody would literally be living the same, but everybody is not. So it's clearly, you know, designed that we literally have our own unique destinies and paths. And it's very important that people stop trying to condemn other people for that. But yeah, I don't know. This video is definitely all over the place, but definitely some nuggets in there if you've been paying attention. Yeah, I thank God for everything. I thank God for everything. I'm not looking for love. I know that love will happen. It's already happening. Like, it's already happened. Like, love has already happened for me. I have love within. I have love without. Love has happened for me on the spiritual realm. I'm just waiting for my life to materialize, pretty much. Like, I'm waiting to be in alignment, and I'm not even waiting. I am being prepared and getting in alignment with my highest timeline, with the people that I love, the community, and it's been happening all the while. So it's not like it's not happening. Like, I see how God has put certain people on my path. Some were just, you know, for a moment. some were to get cut the fuck off, some were to literally be in my life for longer. And I just finally am meeting like my fellow weirdos. Like, I am meeting the people who think like I do. I'm meeting the people who think differently than I do, but they're still out there. So like, it is different variations. But I'm just being afforded to be presented with different people for different reasons, and can't wait to see where this go. Well, I can't wait. I look forward to seeing where this go. I am enjoying the moment right now, and I literally am thankful and grateful. I'm thankful for being able to realize, like, it's okay to cut people off that are not healthy for me. It is okay to deny access to things that are not healthy for me. It is okay to feel like some shit is beneath me. Like, that one was a hard one for me. Like, I always felt like, well, I'm not better than anyone, and I'm still not better than anyone. I just know what's best for me. Like, if that makes sense. So just knowing that, like, some energy, some vibrations, some people, some places, some things is definitely beneath me. And it's not in this grandiose way. It's not in this way that I condemn. I really wish the best for, people, but I thank God for this, like, not taking shit into my own hands, not taking things into my own hands. This is something I learned as a young adult. Like, I'm not gonna take it into my own hands unless I feel like it's a threat. And because to teenage me, she's gonna talk to you with her hands. She's gonna take it out with her hands. She might get somebody else to take it out. So literally, get somebody to talk to you. But like, young adult me was like, she had found reconnected with, that part of her divine God energy, and it was like, I'm gonna give it to God, I'm gonna let the universe handle it. And she used to sit back and watch the universe handle it. But it's this balance, right? It's this balance. Sometimes God give you the green light. Sometimes God can give you the green light. Take the green light. And then there's sometimes like where, yeah, you give it to God. And for me, I'm happy that I have safety and security, and knowing that nobody gets away with nothing. Like, nobody gets away with nothing. What's done in the dark comes to light, even including for me. What I do in the dark comes to light, and why shouldn't it be for the rest of the people? So just having peace with that, like, where I literally wanted to crash out and have revenge and all that stuff. And I think it was beautiful that I got to express that. Like, I think it was beautiful that I got to be human and express, this is what I'm feeling, and no longer repress it. Like, I think it was only natural for me to feel that way. Like, to pretend like I didn't feel that way would have been a disservice and a dishonor to my feelings and myself. I really felt that way during that time and that moment. I don't feel that way no more. I have peace in knowing that God will handle it. Look, God can handle things in so many more ways than what the hell I can think of or do. So God can also get somebody else to handle it. It's just, this stuff goes all kind of ways. I know I had a niece who her mom boyfriend had messed with her, and that man died in a car accident, like, after that situation happened. So, like, I'm not saying that, you either get what I'm saying or you don't. But I'm just saying that, like, be careful who you send your kids around. Be careful who you allow to watch your kids. If you start to see changes in your child behavior from being around certain people, pay attention. If your child comes up with bruises and marks and stuff and they can't explain where they got it from, and I mean, this is like some severe wound, and I don't mean like a little scratch. I mean, like, if they have like a severe wound or like something like, and they can't tell you, oh, well, you know, I got this from doing X, Y, and Z, and it don't make sense. I mean, it makes sense. I would say be cautious and talk to the adult and see what happened, because they should know what happened to your child if they were watching your child. If they don't know what happened to your child, you don't send your child back over there, because even, let's just say it didn't happen from the adult, it may happen from another child. That means that adult is not watching your child. They're not watching the kids play if they can't explain to you what the fuck happened to your child. And like I said, if you start to see like certain changes in behavior, for me, it was aggression and anger. You know, some kids can shut down, all that stuff. Like, it's a lot of things that, you know, can happen. For me, like I said in this video earlier, it's not that I might not have made the same mistakes as my mom. Like, I could have very well made the same mistakes as my mom. Even being overprotective like I was, I could have literally made the same mistakes as my mom. I won't know until my daughter, if something has happened to my child, until she opens up and tell me. But what I do know is that with the strength of God, I will handle it way better than my mom handled it when I was younger and when I was an adult. I truly, it was like confirmation. Like, no one knows, like, when you've had these physical and sexual abusive and emotional abusive, you know, situations, and you have suppressed memories, you know, block things out, and it was for your survival because you just couldn't deal with it and handle it. Like, once those memories come back, and you literally start to speak on these things, and like, I literally remember when it was my father, I told my mom, and my mom like gave me like this interrogation, like, as a small child, like, what the fuck would I have to lie about? And like, I just remember having this conversation with her, and she pretended like, you know, it didn't happen because I shut down. Because I couldn't answer all her questions. Like, lady, I was very young. Like, I don't even think I was a school age then. Like, I think I was probably like 4 or 5 then. Like, a lot of the early traumatic stuff happened. I remember about like 4 or 5. I don't know why. But, and maybe it was happening all along. That's just probably where my memory picks up. Because I doubt that it just started happening. I think it's just that's where age 3 to on is where my memory pick up. I know 3. I remember my dad, you know, like I stated in one video, like, my dad took an ice ball and threw it in my face just because I kept throwing powdery snowballs at him, and he told me to stop. But instead of, you know, having a conversation with me about, you know, when someone says stop, you stop, all that stuff, like, and they didn't respect stop. So what the fuck was you expecting a 3-year-old to understand it? I thought we was gonna play. But to take a snowball, an ice snowball, and to hit a 3-year-old in the face, and I remember being 3. That's the crazy part. I remember being 3. I can remember it from, like, I remember them standing there. Like, I can remember these scenes. And I always tell y'all, like, the memory, like, the core point is there. It's just, I can't always remember the details of, like, what color did I have on. Like, even when I talk about my aunt, house, and I was talking to my, I think I've stated before, like, it was orange juice. It could have been apple juice, but do that matter? Like, that detail is off. That doesn't matter. But I remember the core thing. I remember the core traumatizing part. I remember how that snowball felt like a brick hitting me in my face. As a 3-year-old, I remember my face and my nose turning red and just feeling like even though my nose wasn't bleeding, I just felt like it got really hot in that area. And it just felt like, blood maybe was rushing there. But it did, my nose never bled. It just felt like blood was rushing to that spot. And as a child, I didn't know what that meant. I just knew it was really hot and it hurt really bad. So, yeah, from ages 3 and up, like, I remember a lot of the traumatizing stuff. I've had a lot of stuff happen. Like, my sister was on drugs. I remember one time, like, she tried to get me to go down the hillside with her, and she told me, like, I would get candy. I think I was in elementary school by then. Like, she told me I would get candy, and it was other kids to play with. The whole time, like, this bitch plotting and scheming to sell my ass. And other kids I know don't always have to worry about these things. I was young and gullible, and I didn't know. I didn't know at all. My mom did protect me from that. She did, was like, why she need to go with you? But she ain't had no money. And y'all put 2 and 3 together. Like, I had kids in my neighborhood I could play with. She could buy me candy in my neighborhood. She could have walked to the store and brought back some candy in this neighborhood. Like, why you wanted to take me to hillside, sweetheart? So, yeah, it's just, I have these memories that I will always suppress. I will always turn a blind eye to. I would always just, like, it didn't happen. And I've been afforded to sit with them. I've been afforded to work with them. I've been afforded to know that my self-value and my self-worth has nothing to do with these memories, has nothing to do with what was done to me. My self-worth and my self-value is something that it just is. And as long as I show up for myself and love myself, I'm that bad bitch and I'm that nigga. I like that song. I forgot what's the guy name that sing that shit. I don't know. But I don't know. I like that song. You'd be like, I'm a bad bitch and I'm that nigga. But yeah, I don't know. It's just finding self-love when you was given so much hate. Finding self-love when you was given so much hate. Being at peace with yourself and the mistakes you actually make. Like, that's another thing. Like, yeah, I'm outing all these people and shit. Like, I made mistakes too. I was not a good person to some people. So being okay with that. Making amends the best way you know how. And apologizing to those that you want to apologize to. They can accept it. They don't have to. That's the beauty of life. You can literally move forward, move on. It's about freeing your soul. It's about freeing your soul and making amends with yourself. If you can make amends with other people, dope, cool. Knowing when it's your responsibility to make amends and when it's someone else's responsibility to make amends. I think all my life I've been trying to have this relationship with my mom that doesn't exist. And the reason it'll never exist is because she doesn't see anything wrong. She doesn't feel that she needs to make amends or try to, fix things between us. And none of that. It's always has been me trying to do that part. And she can acknowledge and see the suffering in other people. She can see the strength in other people surviving, extreme abuse. And she'll sit there and talk to me about people who went through this sexual abuse and people who went through this physical abuse. And it's like, but I don't care. I don't want to hear about all these other people when I'm sitting here. I've told you that I've endured these things. And yet you can't see me, because to see me means that you have to deal with the fact that you didn't show up properly as a child, as a parent. And she can't get out of her way with that. I don't even think she's addressed the abuse she's went through. I think the same blocking mechanism that she taught me is the same thing that happened, that I don't know, like, I think sexual abuse probably happened to her within her household, but she's never stated to the degree of penetration. She have told me that, like, yeah, some weird shit was happening, but she kind of like writes it off as like, that's normal if you don't watch the kids. Yeah, it is. Like, if you don't watch your kids, sometimes, yeah, that can happen. However, let's normalize being able to tell. And I think that was another thing. You had older kids watching younger kids, and if the younger kids told, that mean they would have to deal with the older kids because the parent ain't watching them. So that mean they still got to go back and deal with the older kid. So I think she went through some abuse and she blocked it out. I definitely know her mom did not handle sexual abuse properly. From the stories I heard, we had an uncle that was accused of messing with one of the cousins, his own niece. It was my cousin, but his own niece, his own daughters, all that shit. And the children was not protected. The children were not protected. It was always a theme that the man was not wrong. It was the responsibility of the child or the woman. And that's so fucking confusing to me. Definitely for the child. Like, I don't like it when you put it on the woman who is at fault, but like to blame a child for sexual abuse is crazy. To call a child fast, to say that a child wanted it or liked it. Children don't have the capability of making those decisions for themselves. That's why they have parents. It's literally why you're their guide. Like, literally. I didn't want to be burned alive. I wanted to have fun, but I didn't have the processing skill to realize that I could get burned alive. I could get killed. I could get hurt if I would have got on a go-kart. That's why she was supposed to watch me. And so that was just the connection I just made. But I want to get off of that and just say that, like, I no longer desire to make amends with people who don't want to make amends. Like, I don't want to. I released that. I let that go. Sometimes breathing in and out is powerful. I mean, it's powerful anyway, but I say that because we do this all day, and we don't think about it. It's like an involuntary function of our body. But when you are intentionally breathing something in and out, oh my gosh, the release, like, you can feel it. But yeah, I'm gonna get off because I know I'm probably holding y'all up. Not holding y'all up. This video found you, or you either found me. I don't know which one it is, but I'm starting to like lose what I even want to talk about. So my message, direct and clear, is if they don't like you, they don't like your kids. Let's normalize that. Growth is beautiful, but you got to realize your growth within. Sometimes we focus too much on the physical body. Sometimes we have to tap into ourselves and heal those internal wounds, heal the growth that's within. What else was a message or theme in here? Continue to love you. Continue to focus on you. Continue to know that your worth is not, wrapped in all of these societal ideologies. In all these societal ideologies. It's not wrapped in you people pleasing. It's not wrapped in none of those. You were designed to be who you are, and your worth is your worth. Nothing or no one can take that away but you, if you don't decide to see it. So continue to see yourself through your internal lens. Like, see yourself through your internal lens, and don't let nobody project or define who you are but you. So I'm gonna leave that there.